All right, sorry about that. Everybody give me a clap if you can hear me. There we go. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate you all coming out. So, who is new here before? Raise your hand. Thank you so much. I know we had a great Wild AI after party after mini demo, so thank you all for supporting us through that. Since there's a lot of new faces, I'll just run through what we do here at Wild AI. So every month, on the third Monday of each month, we have 3 guest speakers who come up and share their perspectives on what AI is. Either it's a non-technical person, or it could be a very sophisticated engineer, it could be somebody in between. But this is a platform to come and evangelize your ideas to a room full of people who are also curious about AI, and see if we can get you connected to some wonderful people who can keep the conversation going, keep incubating your ideas, and so forth. So thank you all so much for taking the time out to come tonight. And we'll get started here. So our first speaker is going to be Andre Smith. Andre Smith is the founder and creator of an app called Chosen, and it has capabilities of analyzing your voice and getting more insights about mental health. And this is such a wonderful region and industry for healthcare and mental health applications, and really excited to have Andre come up and share more. Thank you.
Yeah! Thanks so much for having me. We had a great time at Mini Demo, so thanks for the after party. It was a really good time, and good to see Meg here, also part of Mini Demo. So thank you so much. So let's get started. 2.5 billion people track their steps on a daily basis, but we have zero objective data when it comes to our mental health in the same way. I'm Andre, I'm founder of Chosen AI Journal. My goal is to make emotional health trackable. So quick round of, I want to see hands. How many people track their steps today? How about your heart rate when you worked out today? Anyone have a sleep score? Mine was a little low this morning. So keep your hands up if you actually track your mental health with the same level of precision. So yeah, it's absolutely terrible. We have lots of health data, but we don't have that same level of data for our mental health. And it would be much like if we were trying to track diabetes or our cardiovascular health with absolutely no data. It doesn't make any sense. So we need to make mental health and emotional health trackable the same way that we do our physical health. Technology follows the similar pattern. We go from a very clinical tool that needs specialized people to deliver it. Eventually we get early adopters, and then at some point we get mass adoption to where we all have access to how many steps that we took. We started tracking steps in the 1950s. We started tracking our heart data in the 1960s. And then, but now we all have access to how many steps that we have. And so why is tracking important? If you, oh, I'm sorry, you weren't trying to get my attention. With our, you can now get personalized feedback in real time. So we can be able to track our steps, but then how do we personalize that? The doctor would just say, oh, well, we think you need to exercise a little more. But what does that actually mean? Now, because we've studied hundreds of thousands of people, we now know that 7,000 steps and 10,000 steps gives us very similar health outcomes. And so with mental health, we are in a data desert. We deserve to have the same revolutionary way that our physical health is tracked. Our mental health deserves the same thing. Clinicians are making life-changing decisions by simply asking, how are you doing since the last time we last met? And so being able to have trackable data in our mental health will allow us to give more detailed personalization of my stress levels peak at 2 p.m. on Monday. It's correlated with the fact that I only had 5 hours of sleep versus 7. and let's proactively walk you through a breathing exercise to lower your stress. We already know that it's peaking. And so when we connect our mental health data to the rest of our health data, we have the ability to make revolutionary change. I would like all of you to join me in making our emotional health as trackable as we do our morning walk. Thank you.
Yeah!
Any questions for Andre?
So how do you track? How do you track?
How do you track? So it's going to be through your voice. So the one reason why I chose not to do a text-based journal was I'm from North Carolina, and so I imagine that there's going to be words that I use differently from people here. And so whether it's region of the country or just culturally, I didn't want to use text and I used voice. So then that way it can analyze the voice and determine what emotions that you're having in real time.
Anybody else?
Oh.
How did you address the privacy?
His question was around privacy. So I would say one of the things I'm getting ready to implement is eye-to-eye encryption. So something as simple as you reading through your transcript in a public setting, and somebody is standing over your shoulder, having the screen go blank, so that you always feel that your data is safe, whether it's the transcript or the emotional data that you have from your journaling session.
Do you align with like GAD-7, the anxiety questionnaires that they have?
So he's asking about GAD-7. So the one reason why I started with a journal was so that I didn't have that level of regulation just to get something out the door. It would dramatically increase the cost of being able to get some basic information of will people adopt this and is it beneficial. But yes, the long-term plan is for it to have an integration tool with mental health professionals as well.
All right, last question right here.
Would the model be capable of determining if someone is in danger from what they've disclosed, and how would you handle that?
Yeah, so that's one of the things, the crisis management system is one of the things that I'll be developing between now and the beginning of the year. And so I think it'll grow more and more sophisticated over time. I definitely have had conversations with people that eventually AI will be able to determine anxiety and depression just based on voice. And so I think over time it'll get more and more sophisticated of being able to integrate it with your care providers and notifying not just if you don't have a therapist, a close friend or coach, so that you can have a holistic approach to that. Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Andre. Thank you so much, Andre.
Yeah!
Not many of you may know this, but I had my start in a career in mental health, and I absolutely just want to say thank you for the work that you do, and you're absolutely right. It's incredibly subjective, and because of that, it's hard to isolate specific data points, and you see this across even practicing. You see it in litigation, you see it in insurance claims, and so if you have any more questions or would like to help support Andre on what he's doing, giving any technical feedback, please follow up with him after. We'd really appreciate it. Okay. So next up, we have a dear friend of mine and also a very recent founder. Her name is Anushka Bidet, recent founder of a company called Meetup. And Anushka has extensive experience working as a human factors engineer at a medical device, specifically at Medtronic. And of course, you can imagine that there's a lot of different solutions that are trying to leverage new AI technologies and LLMs. So I invite her to come up here and talk more about that and also submit what she's working on.
Yeah! Yeah!
Hi, am I audible back there? No feedback? All right, okay. So just to start out, like you said, my name is Anushka, and what I do at Medtronic is I'm a human factors engineer, and it's very niche. What does that mean? If you were to explain it to a 7-year-old, I'm responsible for making sure that people don't feel like throwing a medical device out a window after they use it. But in more technical terms, I translate user needs and preferences into engineering requirements. I sit right between marketing and engineering. So if a surgeon looks at me and says, hey, this robot moves too fast, to me, I go to my engineering team and I say, you need to change the velocity profile from 0.2 meters per second to 0.1 meters per second. So I take that qualitative feedback and I turn it into numbers. So why am I talking to you today? I'm gonna draw a little fence around my talk here. I'm not a coder, I'm not a software engineer. I went to grad school for mechanical engineering. So I'm not gonna talk about RAG or embeddings or math because simply I don't know about that. But I'm gonna talk to you about what I do know. I do know about user research and I do know about understanding why people do what they do and how to support them in doing that. And make sure that they don't kill other people in the process while they're using your product. Here's how I'm gonna be helpful to you today. If you're here, you're either here because you're building something for yourself, for your employer, or you want to build something in the future. You're here because you're in one of those 3 categories. And maybe you're just figuring it out. So in my experience of using AI, I've kind of identified these 3 big insights of user research. And I want to share those with you because one day in the future, you might remember this talk here maybe, and you might remember 4 words of what I said, and it might help you get you from 0 to 1. So what I think is really fascinating is that we built this machine to understand us, and in the process, it's become one of the best teachers in how to really and actually understand who people are. And the first lesson I learned, and I have my notes here, if that's okay. The first lesson I learned was that magic is really in the mess. Because AI is trained on the internet. It's not trained just on Nature publications and books and articles. It's trained on the arguments you're having at Reddit at 2 a.m. It's trained on poetry, arguments, different languages, all sorts of things. It's trained on real human data. Because your users, they don't show up with clean data. They don't follow your script, right? When they start using your product, they show up in different user environments. They show up in different times of day with different needs. They show up with contradictions. They show up with edge cases, with emotions. And so how can you consider that when you're building your product? Maybe my user wants to do 2 things at one time, and I didn't think about it because I was too scared to deal with that messy data. And that's why this is a great segue to what you talked about, Andre. Because in the end, if you take out the mess of what people feel and think and need when they use a product, you're taking out learnings and you're taking out value. That's my first lesson. My second lesson, I like to call it learning is a relationship. We've all used AI, right? When you're talking, when you're in a session with your Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT, or if you're weird Grok, your AI model is listening, it's picking up on your intent, your tone, your context, your quirks, your intentions. And it's not updating the entire brain real time, but it is meeting you where you are. For AI, learning is not an event, which when we develop products many times, learning is an event. I'm gonna talk to 5 beta users, I'm gonna learn and come home and distill 2 new things. But for them, learning is a relationship. And I think that's what you were also talking about, Andre, is when you're building your product, look at your user's body language. What are they feeling? What are they thinking? They might be thinking one thing, saying they'll do something, and actually doing something else, right? And then the third one, and this is my favorite one, something I really love about how we use AI, at least how I use AI, is when I put in a prompt, sometimes I'll wait 10 seconds, sometimes 20 to get an output. If it's a picture, I'll wait longer. And why do I do that? I don't do that with web pages. If a web page doesn't load in 5 seconds, I start to suspect my internet. I start to get really frustrated. I do that because the AI is providing a level of value to me. I'm tolerating that friction for the value. In the 90s, I would have done the same for a web page. And I don't anymore, because back then it was a new offering. So when you're building products, I'm thinking you all have a list of tech tasks you need to get done. I need to build this, I need to build that feature in, this feature in. Many times it can feel tempting to focus on those exciting tasks, those sexy tasks, right? The numbers, the colors, your brand value, your motto. But think about, what did I promise my customers my product would do? And then align your top priority tasks with what you said you would do, with your what your value proposition is. And I know you're all thinking, oh, I know this, Anushka. Oh, I know it. But I challenge all of you to go home and make a list and look at your list of all the things you need to do and really ask yourself, are the top 3 to-dos on my list, do they really align with what my product says it will do with my value prop? I think you might be surprised. So I'll just end by saying that at Submita, we are taking this a little forward, and we're actually automating a lot of user research reporting and FDA reporting for medical device companies. My co-founder is standing right there, Thibaut. So hands, yeah. Clap for Thibaut, he's great. But if anybody wants to talk user research, if you want to talk about more targeted solutions to what you are working on, yeah, let's chat for a couple minutes, or you can ask me questions over here, because this is what I do for a living. So, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah!
Any questions for Anushka?
In the world of usability studies, there's close calls, right? Where you have a
Yes, sir.
a series of events that are something somebody's supposed to do, and 2 out of 10 kind of trip up, they actually get it right. You know, then people say, oh, it was a success. Do you kind of see that in the AI prompt world? I mean, I'm just trying to think.
In terms of close calls,
well, I'm used to medical devices, right, where a nurse almost would do something,
Yeah,
and they catch
yeah.
themselves, right?
Yeah.
Because of legacy or something.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to.
well, I think you said that right, because that's where AI and humans are very different. The nurse will do something, and then he or she will immediately know that they did it wrong, or they're about to do it wrong, and they'll change themselves. With AI, I have to tell it that, oh, you said that wrong, can you fix that? So that's the difference. So an AI has to be told about close calls. Humans, we inherently know our close calls and our near misses. Any other questions? I know this is very new. It's not pure AI math or anything like that, but it's very important. Okay. All right.
Thank you,
No
Nisha.
questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Lastly, we have our final speaker. His name is Mamini Kone. Mamini is a really impressive individual. Not only is he a seasoned cybersecurity and cloud computing engineer, but he's done a tremendous amount of great work creating some notable nonprofits, getting FaceTime with the governor. He just actually rushed from a different conference to come here tonight. But anyways, not only does he have a unique perspective in which he has very technical understanding of where all these AI models live, which is in a cloud environment or data centers with computes such as H100s and the like, but he also has a unique perspective as an executive of these nonprofits. I thought it'd be really interesting to have him come and share what he thinks of AI, so please give it up for Mamini.
How are you guys doing today? Good. Awesome. So, by show of hands, who uses any of our AI tools here? Has anyone here built any of your own agents? Okay. Awesome. All right, guys. I'm not a tech founder, and give a round of applause for our two previous speakers, by the way. So you guys are.
Yeah!
My entire life has been around human-centric. And everything that I've done in my life evolved around humans. How can we make humans' life better? So I'm a cybersecurity professional. I work in identity access management. If anyone knows that, I've been in this field for over 10 years. So what that means is we start for a company, we want to know who you are and what you do. Now in the age of AI, There's a blur between reality and fiction. So as we build these powerful tools, I want to start a conversation. I would like us to start a conversation with your families, with your companies, with your communities, because we want this tool to work for us, not against us, right? And this is what I'm here today. I just completed a program at MIT, and it was no-code AI, and I recommended no-code AI in machine learning. And it was about how can you use large set of data to make sense of it. Because every day you wake up, the minute you wake up, you're producing data, right? There's data everywhere. Now, the old days, data was the new oil. And I don't believe in that anymore. I think insights is the new oil. Because data is all around us. How do we make sense of this large amount of data? All right, so I do a lot in my life. So I'm a founder of a nonprofit organizations that provide professional development to folks of diverse background. I serve on multiple boards from K-12 to higher education. I teach at the University of Minnesota. So I do a bunch of things. So here, I would like to mention 4 things that I've been thinking about when I took this course at MIT. So these 4 components evolve around ethics, economy, society, and security. So ethics. So we all hear about Sora 2. I don't know, has anyone used Sora 2? Powerful engine. So it's like now this is gonna be the new TikTok. But we live in an era now where the boundary between reality and fiction is blurring, right? It's like you can use somebody like Michael Jackson, and they can use anybody and to make a video of them. So my question is, how do we fit this thing called AI to work for us, right? So our values, fairness, right? And value, one of the values that I'm thinking about, stealing is not good. So how do we feed this tool to work for us, right? So I would like you guys to think about ethics, but also privacy. We all use, I'm a big users of AI tools. Have anyone used Note LLM here? Okay, that thing is powerful. So not too long ago, I discovered, if you haven't used it, I really recommend it. So I speak a lot, keynote speakers, I go for conference, I just come from another cybersecurity conference. So before I'll go to my mentor, I'll have my topics and I will give me feedback. But even this speech here that I'm giving right now, I just have my outline, feed it to LLM, and it's incredible. It can create a podcast. Coming here, I was listening to it. Like, it cannot even differentiate between this machine and a real human being. Like, I get excited, but also nervous about this thing. Now, it can give you note cards. It can even question you. So that's, to me, is the next frontier. So my question, I really challenge you guys to think about ethics. As you're building this thing, especially these founders, think about ethics, because we want this thing to work for us, not against us. That's one. The second thing is, I want to talk about economy. AI can fuel innovation and productivity. That's all good. We've seen a lot of layoffs lately, right? And these companies are saying that, hey, you know, because they're using AI. But my question is, human, we derive purpose from doing. And this can be a nonprofit organization, this can be a company that you're working for. But if AI is taking all our jobs, what are we gonna do, right? So I would like you guys to start thinking about the economic side of AI. And one thing that I would like to share with you guys, 2 weeks ago, I had an interview with OpenAI. So, and this blew my mind. I spent hours practicing this interview. I called my mentor, we did role play. I had 3 sets of interviews. One of the recruiters, and 2 of the director and all the other guys. The first, the recruiter just talked to me about OpenAI, what they do. The second, the guy was like, hey, Mamadi, if you made it this far, there must be something special about you. Let's skip, tell me about yourself. I said, okay. And the question was, build a product that can read animals' minds. So I chose dog. So we didn't even talk about my experiences, my education. I have a master in cybersecurity. We didn't think about any of that. The third interview, it was the same thing. We didn't even talk about my education or my experience. It was all about creativity, collaborations, and resilience. So I'm sitting there. I was like, what? I'm very proud of what I've done at school and all of this. We didn't even touch on all of this. So maybe we need to start thinking about what's going to be the next generation of employees. You know, I teach at the University of Minnesota, so I'm thinking about this. I was like, wow, what I'm going to teach these kids now? Because to be honest with you, I don't have all the skills. I don't. This new world that we are building right now, I don't have the skills for it. So we need to think about economy. So I talk about ethics, economy. The third one is society. So AI is reshaping how we connect, learn, and trust information. There's a company called Friend. Has anyone heard the company Friend? No?
Friend.ai, right?
Yeah, Friend.ai. Guys, this company is, I think it's a wearable necklace or whatever. You put in so it's supposed to boost your self-esteem. So you wake up in the morning, you say, oh, I'm tired today. And it's supposed to tell you, oh, you are the best, you are this. But then I was like, as human, we learn through feedback. So you have this tool that's not giving you any feedback, any friction. And there's human in a loop. What's going to be the future as humans? Because we get purpose, meaning through this. But what about if a machine on my wrist that's telling me that I'm the best in the world, and I step out, I'm not the best in the world? How am I going to feel about myself? So we need to talk about the society aspect of it. There's another one called early IQ. This is for seniors. Now it's a machine in seniors' room that can talk to seniors. And I was watching a video of it before coming here. It can say, hey, can you tell me your jokes? And this machine will tell a joke to a senior. Hey, can we play puzzles or whatever? And we'll play puzzles. Now, are we going to replace humans in this senior room that are giving cares and connection to these humans? So that really scares me, because as I mentioned earlier, everything that I've done in my life has been centered on human. Last but not least, this is my favorite part, is security. The deep fakes and the data that we are feeding this machine, the governance piece of it. First, who owns this data? I ask myself every morning when I'm using these tools, I'm feeding this tool my data, who owns it? What is it safe? Who has access to this? Right? And the privacy of it too. So I would like you guys, my talk here is a bit more philosophical, but I would like us to start this conversation. These tools are impressive. The scale and the speed and the realism of it is incredible. Now, ChatGPT reaches about 800 million people per week. Think about that for a second. And then with Sora, it can make videos that looks like real. Think about the geopolitics of that, all the ramification behind that. So I challenge all of you guys today to start this conversation about ethics, security, society, and what was the last one? Huh? Economy. Thank you guys for having me today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the value of trading the CO2 gas and solar videos of somebody older that is dancing on new song? So what's the value for the humanity? How do you see it?
That's a very good question, and I ask myself this every morning. So just a little context here. So I grew up in a big family. I get my energy from human beings. So I share like a room with 3 of my cousins. We had those bumper beds, so you can imagine of the testosterone in the morning, you know. So I grew up in that environment. So the short answer is I don't know. But the good answer is we still have time to make this thing work for us, you know, to benefit us. So I don't know. And that's the reason why I want to start this conversation. So with your companies, with your families, So hopefully we'll have a Ethiopia era where this tool is gonna work for us. Any other question? Yes, sir.
When you think of ethics, how could a company display ethics in AI?
That's a very good question. I mean, not to get political, we live in a capitalist system. So, I don't know, there has to be some incentive for the company to follow that ethics. Maybe there needs to be a government community here. Maybe there needs to be a societal community that get together to think about governance and ethics. But if you leave the company themselves with this race, I don't know if they're gonna really, that's my opinion, they're gonna think about ethics because it's always gonna be the bottom line. So you have so many players right now and everyone is trying to be the first to get to super intelligence here, so, yeah. Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Andre and Anushka, really appreciate you all taking the time to come speak to us. And thank you everybody for joining us too, and also online. To wrap things up, just a couple of things. We got two pretty cool individuals in here I want to spotlight. We have Meg from Ministar. If you enjoyed Mini Demo, please give her a huge round of applause. Not only if you enjoyed Mini Demo, if you enjoy Wild AI, she has been a really wonderful mentor and person that I can ask for resources and help, and she's been absolutely wonderful to me, so thank you, Meg, for coming and joining us today, too. Lastly, we have Sergey at Ovio. Ovio is a company that started here, was founded here in Minneapolis. They do some really wonderful work with using recrystallization for determining different, let's say, states of your body when it comes to fertility, and he's exploring other opportunities there too. So if you have any questions for him or want to pick his brain, he's been in San Francisco a lot recently. He's also interested in meeting people here locally on the technical side, so please go visit with him. Last but not least, as we close up tonight, just please be mindful of this area by the bar so that the wonderful Headflyer staff can get past. Give them a round of applause too for being such wonderful hosts. Awesome, and sign up to speak. Would love to get more people signing up. There's a lot of really wonderful perspectives in here, and I think it's almost Minnesotan in a way, getting people to be compelled to speak. But please do. You never know how speech could resonate with somebody. There have been speakers who have found their founders. There have been speakers who found their investor or their research partner just by coming up and speaking. And this is a platform for everybody. As you could tell tonight, we had an array of different perspectives, and that's important because AI is affecting all sorts of different fields and industries, and it's really important to give platform to that and also meet somebody here that could help you along your way and along your journey too, whether it's technical or not technical. There's some wonderful individuals. So please take advantage of that and sign up to speak. I would love to get a good backlist going. Really would. So thank you very much. We'll see you next month, November 17th, Monday here at Headflyer. Thank you.